Alright, let's wrap this one up. The boring chapter that I never care about. Spooky. Anyway, she's gonna go, family's like, I'm not family. They call me dense as shit because it sure does seem like they. Besides, I'm not gonna be here for much longer. The face is completely crestfallen now. Shit, I hope I didn't just contribute to that. I scramble to think of something to distract her and end up with something to distract me. Hey, Olivia, can I see some of the odd stuff? What? She tenses up at the question. It's just, I'm feeling a little bummed out. In more ways than one with everything going on. So just chilling here. You could go back to your room, or we could be shut-ins with each other. That's so... Like, I get it, but Anon is... Your ways... Like, this is where Anon is at the end of Snoot game, man. Fuck. It sounds pretty direct and maybe even apologetic. A chance to drive somebody at work. The constrained eep. Does she eep? Man, I really need to play the game. I take stock of just how shaken up the question made her. Oh, man. This has come across fucking weird. I should probably sleep. I don't want anyone else in my room. I gesture beside her, still holding up hope that this will end up well. The living room's free. She slumps down and hums in contemplation. Then she pushes her up with her arms and towards me. I shrink back imperceptibly. Why bother mentioning it? At the brazenness, she seems to warm to the idea of being able to show off. Are you really that interested? Are you really that interested? Oh, yeah, I am. Speak truthfully, even as I shudder under her comment. What does that have to do with anything? Why would that be an even? Why not just as? Funnily enough, her bravado doesn't last long as I continue. I mean, I haven't seen anything of yours I dislike. The gala painting was pretty cool, but even your sketches are awesome. I don't fully get why you'd guard it all so closely, but I am interested. She wrings her hands as she looks at her lap, then shoots a defiant gaze my way. Okay, fine. If you're so interested, you can watch. But I gotta get my stuff set up first. She wheels past me to her door. Yeah, no problem. I'll chill out over here. I shoot a thumbs up and sit down, wondering if she's really just humoring and will half-ass whatever she shows me. But that does sound like her. But does that sound like her? I'm just afraid that's all she'll do because that's all I deserve to see. And you don't have the ego to doubt that. The party goes on. Outside, and as fun as it was, sitting in the AC about to see Olivia's process gets my heart pumping in the best possible way. Ben's words about photography spring to mind, and I can't help but see a glance in the artist's eye she must have. For a guy born without a single creative bone, that's pretty unthinkable. Why not Ben's swords? Ben has swords. I imagine he does. He should. To cut the photos from the film tape. Olivia leaves her room with an... Gosh, why not just say she enters the room? Olivia enters the living room with an easel and art supplies stacked upon her lap, shutting the door behind her before wheeling up beside me. She locks the easel's legs in place, and sets it a foot or two away from the couch, then places the art supply onto a coffee table opposite of the food plate, and then abruptly hops from a chair to the couch without warning. I kind of want to turn to something a little different now. Yeah, this is perfect for this. Her mask causes a cushion of air to ripple out, drawing me ever so slightly closer to it. You mean she craters the cushions, man? Well, she was already practically on top of me with her aim. My thighs are now touching. The alarms start blaring at it. Why not just have the alarms blare instead of saying they're gonna blare and then blare them anyway? Like, just don't preempt what's already happening like that. Nuclear spaghetti meltdown imminent. Thighs made contact, prolonged exposure over his criticality T-minus 5 minutes. Oh my god, that estimation sounds wishful to me. Personally, they're my alarms. Yet I'm frozen in place, unable to will myself to scooch an inch over. Olivia's still engrossed in establishing her domain, every once in a while tossing a portion of meat into her mouth and licking at her marinated fingers. My breathing's grown shallow at proximity as I try to center myself, but the unmistakable scent of peach fills my head and makes me grow lightheaded. It's because she's got the peach fuzz, you know. Human women have that. I don't think a dinosaur would. They got the mop of head hair, but man, whatever happened to that guy? It was like dinosaurs shouldn't have hair. Made like pretty cool designs without the hair. Who knows? It isn't overpowering or anything. It feels like minutes lapse by in seconds. Olivia's hoarse indignation snaps me back to the moment. Why are you sitting so close to me? There's more like, why are you sitting so close to me? Why are you sitting so close to me? Oh, the one that sat down close to me, snapped back reflexively. I think she misses the voice crack then. You're the one that's sitting down close to me. She must have recognized that's the case because she simply whispered, oh, yeah, before turning back to the tabula rasa before her and shakily tapping a brush to the front of her mouth. So what are you gonna paint? I clear my throat twice throughout, but that unmistakable tremble's still there. Chill out, Anon. It's not that deep. She flopped down without a care. She sure is staring intently at that canvas. See, this is the problem, right? This is the problem with having Anon and Olivia date. One of them has to change before the actual dating can happen. Because Anon wouldn't believe a woman wants to date him. He's already resigned himself to the incel lifestyle, whatever he wants to admit it or not. And Olivia just, I don't even think she considers sex anything to happen. Because, she'd rather fuck a painting, Like, her life is on the big page. She's too busy developing herself and trying to overcome her personal trauma to be busy with that kind of stuff. It's not what she defaults to. She defaults to painting. So, like, these two people would never get into a relationship just like that. You need that Fangian circumstance to push them together, and it's just not there. Could Damien work? I don't know. I think Damien would be aware that Anon isn't comfortable and doesn't want to be there, and would probably try to befriend him before he throws him out to Olivia, so... She's staring intently at that canvas right about now. I don't know. Yours live inspiration before I start, but, why are you pink? Oh my god, Olivia, you can't just ask people why they are a certain color. Shut up! I didn't. She hops on the defense, but quickly breaks it to a light smile. Yes, I guess I did. But why are you so pink now? I'm white as rice, and I forgot sunscreen. Guess dinos don't use aloe either, so I'm SOL. And shrug. More or less used to it as long as the pink bits aren't in contact with anything. Does it, hurt? She asks, coarsely poking my burned head before I can answer. Ow, yes, it does. Humans are weak, she says in jest. I hope. But I'm still alive. Barely. I heard you yelping for Damien's help with that dog when you got here. It's not like you felt it sink its teeth into your foot. Ankle. Fuck. Why did I say that? It's not even phrasing. This is just a dickheaded thing to say. She's silent for a long while as she stares me down. Fuck you. No real malice in there. And she doesn't move to strike me, nor does she move to leave. And are you often hit by people? Because I got the impression that he, physically no, but, just kind of told to leave more than anything. Then she hums wordless. Oh, no. It's because she slapped him before with the tail and everything. It's already been established. Then she hums wordlessly, beginning a piece with practiced movements, mixing paints on a spongy board she has. I personally prefer not using A for that. I prefer using the spongy board she has, or that spongy board. She has no hesitation as she begins tracing an outline only she can see the guides for. So, again, what are you painting? Again, that's a repeat. You should probably put again in there. I lean close. Lean back. You can ignore this, by the way. You can just have it be the response. Anon's leaning closer, but he doesn't notice. But she is like, listen, you're going too far. She commands, and I do a crossing mouth. And uncross your arms, you baby. Again, just leave this out. Make Anon's little piss baby fit. Like, play with the point of view. Come on. Why? I throw my arms up. She sighs and rolls her eyes. If I tell you where to get aloe, will you stop whining and do what I say? You want to see the process, so you better damn well watch. Your wish is my command, I immediately capitulate. She continues painting as she exposits. Out front there are aloe vera plants. You can take one of those leaves and use that. Really? No one's gonna be pissed? No, Mrs. Payne uses them to make smoothies sometimes. The flowers they make are also really pretty. The sweet reminiscence, in her words, the genuineness of which causes me to take a double take. Oh, that's bad. Double take, I guess, is the proper one, anyway. Olivia realizes it too, and looks at me to correct. I mean, if you're into that. Oh, wait, no. I mean, no, if you're into that. Something tells me she is. Maybe I'm an empath or something. In any case, I shrug. I mean, it's interesting that you would comment on that at all. You've already had some pretty good insights into people, and I'll shut the hell up. In any case, I shrug and get up to pluck one of the sacred leaves to cure my ailment. Getting that medicinal herb. My quest is short, and my prize easy to spy. Along the side of the house, several aloe vera. How do you even know what they are? Sprout from the rock. I mean, I guess they were maybe in like advertisements and stuff. Why would I not know plants? Sprout from the rocky plant bed they're rooted in. The ripened leaf. How would you know they're ripe? I pause easily slides back and forth before detaching from the main body. I take my haul back inside and see that Olivia's already made great strides in her process. I think she's painting a sun at the center. A bit ovular, though. Maybe it's a setting. Maybe it's setting, reflecting a body of water. It's an interesting shade, though. More red than orange, more like a bright red. I sit beside her, holding up the leaf. So what? Do I, rub this on my skin or something? What? No! She rolls her eyes, extending a claw and cleanly slicing it. Squeeze it out and rub that on yourself, idiot. I shrug off the insult. I'm a human. I use store-bought goo like God intended. I don't afford around for plants. How could I know the stuff was on the Shouldn't you as a human be, extra aware of stuff like this, especially since you're more susceptible to sunburns? Your excuse works the other way, more than anything. She sighs, but her eyes betray the amusement hidden deep inside like a jawbreaker. You suck for a human. You know from the education you're supposed to be getting. That's a weird thing to teach at a school. By now, I squeezed a dollop of aloe into my hands and began smearing the cooling gel into my glowing skin. A sigh of relief escapes my mouth, and then I retort. I must have forgotten to pick up Bonnie's in elective. By the way, when was the great Dino War, Olivia? I had to stay still as her eyes flit over to me. She's silent for a beat. Shut up. Point made. I simply grin and lean back. Don't move. Sit the way you are. What? Why the hell would I? You wanted to see this? Do it. Do it. I sit back up, grunting, my smile now wiped away. Taking a better look at the painting now. She stopped nowing. I finish applying the aloe. It's taking form. The celestial body almost looks like a head. Even got adding details here and there, reminiscent of facial lines, nose and eyes. Man, what the hell, Olivia? She's actually painting my rat-ass face right in front of me. She snorts and devolves into giggling. Consider it the cost of seeing my process. Her laugh dispels any genuine annoyance at the piece. It wasn't disclosed to me before. I want to speak to your manager, miss. Hey, you're talking to her, Karen. Shut up and quit moving. I chuckle and comply, watching with great interest as my features appear from myriad brushstrokes she doles out. The likeness is quite striking, if I do say so myself. I'm a photographic genius, if I do say so myself. Say Fuzzy Pickles! He does a good job of capturing my otherwise boring face and gives me characters without being character. You are a caricature, Anon! That's your whole point! The silence between us, backed by the soft strokes on the canvas, is nice. It's a comfortable silence. It's not really silence. You've literally described the sounds that are happening. I don't know. There's probably a way to make that work. I find myself filling it with something in my mind. So the pain seemed pretty energetic. What does that mean? Her eyes flick to me and quickly back to the task at hand. Now it sounds nothing bad either, just normal socialization that I'm used to. I don't want it to chill inside. Yeah. She frowns slightly. I'm deliberating, pressing her a bit more when she makes clear. You could probably guess, but the paints are just my godparents. I'm glad she had so much faith in me. Way too stupid to presume my dinosaur genealogy and family's will. Just known you for a long time then, yeah? Relax my spine as I settle into the moment. Brief pause of brushness response. My whole life. Damon and I have known each other since we were carpet crocs. My parents have known Dad since, well, forever. Ever since before we were neighbors. I gotcha. Friends of the family, I guess. Concept alien to me. There's no one back home that really fits that role. Pretty much. Or reason why I'm living with them. Her lips tremble before closing tight. Myself rushing to kill the moment. I think I get it. Forgot I even asked. There's a surprise in her eyes, followed by what I hope is thankfulness. He returns to her painting. I don't know the situation, but I do know again, the boldness doesn't work, especially not with a letter like I. I wouldn't want all my secrets spilled because of a mistake in a mission. I want someone to do the same for me. The comforting silence returns, and thankfully the awkward derailment has done little to slow a painting's zeal. At this point, in my opinion, it's done, with Livia's scrutinizing glare and continued sporadic strokes of the canvas show her dissatisfaction. So is it... Shush! She straightens her back, leaning close, very close to my face as her eyes scan over me. My breathing becomes shallow as I feel hot puffs from her nostrils at this range. The peach fragrance I've come to associate with is dizzying at this concentration, and only adds to my heady feeling. That's because you're allergic to the perfume, Anon! Get a gas mask, please! Her eyes frantically scan my face, taking great pains to avoid meeting my eyes, but I can see her eyes more clearly than ever now. The silver iris slowly dilates, contrasting against her brilliantly yellow sclera. The way she's looking at me now is anew. There's always been this unspoken judgment or disinterest before, but now it's obvious that she's looking at me without reservations for the first time. A clear embarrassment aside, that is. My already shimmering cheeks only heat up further, and Olivia doesn't look much better as her scales begin to pale and flush slightly. She's running out of places to look now. She's starting to quake under my gaze. Finally, she breaks the stance and exhales heavily. Okay. So, is it done now? She answers me by turning her canvas towards me. It's like looking in the mirror. Some big, bald bastard is looking at me with this unexplainable. Inexplicable is the fun one. Look in his eyes and a small, almost non-existent smile. I don't think that's my resting face, though. Maybe artistic license? She even went as far as painting a translucent smear of aloe on my scalp. Nah, she draws that the way she draws cum. Because, you know, she's drawn a lot of cum, and, like, the way you draw cum is pretty close to drawing translucent smears anyway. It's a pretty cool technique. If you play it a little lighter, you can even make it look kind of like other substances, but, you know, like you just put a dollop down and you dilute it a little bit in the center to give it that. It looks kind of slimy more than it looks creamy, depending on the texture you're looking for, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Not quite. I'll come back to it later. My heart skips at the thought of getting a facial on top of my head like I'm a sundae. But then I realized that this she apparently considers as good enough to deign finishing. Get over yourself, Anna. She takes pride in her work. Could have easily been an orange roll and she see it through. I never got how you do it, but damn you are well. She mumbles something unintelligible, as a thanks I hope. She begins packing up a canvas. Yep, you saw it. You can go join the others or whatever. She packs her equipment up, taking it back to her room as I spy the party still ongoing outside. It's a little weird. We've been inside for quite some time, but no one has been in or coming to check on us, so... Yeah. Anna, wouldn't you be used to that? Since, you know, your parents are implied to be kind of negligent to some extent. Wouldn't you be used to that? Yo, Olivia? I find myself calling out before I can stop myself. She pivots in her chair and looks back at me, caught off guard. The transaction's over. That's what I imagine she's thinking. She painted me to get me to shut up, and I watched, and the contract, the prophecy fulfilled. Under normal circumstances, I suppose I'd be all too happy to live and let live, but something about today is like, monkey brain! Stop grabbing the controls, monkey Anon! I'm the protagonist! Stop robbing me of my agency to be a loser! Why are you forcing this plot? Just what to say, thanks again for showing your process and all. She's sufficiently confused. Why sufficiently? What would be insufficiently confused? Sure. Sure. Kind of surprised the party's still going on. It's been a long day, but it seems, you know, it's still hanging on. Still nice. He's saying still a lot, which I hope is just because he's stuttering a little bingus. She's eyeing me suspiciously now, pausing the hall in the way to room. There is no hall. I'm pretty sure the door just connects directly to the living room, is how that's intended to be interpreted. You know, it's adjacent to the TV and everything. So been unexpected. Damien's adopting me as his best friend. Invitation today, the hospitality, the bands. You have a great family. Sure, good for you, but they're not really mad. But they are! Wanna come out with me and with last bit here? I've been fighting back the frustration in my words, but if it isn't If this isn't a family, I've been my whole life without one. Maybe that's still the case, but it isn't for Olivia. What? No, I can't. Why not? You know, just give it a chance. The pains of enough to worry about, and they Vincent, Damien, and they're hosting all the other guests. Well, it's implied that it's just like 2 people and you, so they got plenty to deal with already. I know at the accommodations. Just let them be normal. Does it hurt? My words are a little more harsh than intended, and she shocked. And where the fuck is this monkey coming from? And why does he have a degree in psychoanalysis? Does what hurt? You know, shit. I'm out of seat of my pants here. Because this isn't you! Because the author's like crowbarring you into a situation you shouldn't be in. This should not be like the demo already does a lot of lifting in a weird way because it's supposed to be a demo. Like, my man, stop! Don't do this. This sitting inside and thinking like this. Anon, you think like this. This is you. They didn't ask you to stay as lip service. Vinny didn't ask about you when you were at it. You went out wear shots for some illusionary bullshit. They're family in any other terms. They're a family in all terms, Anon. They're just not blood related. That's nothing to do with family. Unless you want to tell every fucking adopted kid to go fuck themselves. Oh, please. Go on and tell me more about my family. He rolls her eyes and drones sarcastically. She's not meeting my eyes anymore. Well, she's rolling them, Anon! Well, if you insist. So it's like this, right? Life's a pain, you're born, things hurt, and you die. No! You're born, you bump into a whole bunch of stuff, and then you die. Pain is a constant no matter what. No. Yeah, it's because you're a little defeatist loser. I just got my leg torn off by a dog named after a shonen protagonist. I'm sunburned bad enough that I had shed like a saurian, and I still had to get home after being completely drained from it all. But I'll never forget today. She looks up at me with an inquisitive glance, and I continue. Soon the pain will be nothing more than, ah, yeah, that part sucked. And today I felt like I belonged in. Still could remember Coach Solly's words from that first day. Pain just means you're trying, you know. If you're not trying, you're dying. You want to hurt a little now and then and be happy you did? Keep dying. Anon, like, that could be your character, but, like, it's Monkey Anon doing this. So it's like, I don't give a shit. You haven't done any character progression. You're just paying lip service because you have to. Because the plot demands it. Like, you've just skipped the important bits. Which is kind of how the demo works. And again, that's why I think the demo kind of fucking needs to suck a dick. Like, say what you want, but that demo does not connect to the rest of the narrative that Wani has to begin with. It does not set the right expectations. It does not address... Like, it doesn't work. She's quiet for a long while, but I don't relent or lower my hand. I hope my expression is reassuring and not a maniac after a frantic speech I glued together. Then she said, this is not a speech, man. This is not even a fucking page. Has anyone ever told you suck at pep? His pep talks are perfectly fine, all things considered. No, this is my first, and honestly, I'm cringing hard enough to fold my organs like origami. That'll pass. I said what I wanted. She smiles hopefully now, after my self-deprecation or the genuine trust in my words. It doesn't matter now. You made yourself look like an idiot forcing out a word count on an essay. But you're right. An unfettered smile now blooms on my face, and the tightness I had noticed was there dissipates from my chest. A sharp squeak. Squeak. No, a squeak doesn't squeal. Does it? Could it? Feels like he really just wanted to get that triple S. As I slide the glass door open, giving an exaggerated bow and hand wave for Olivia to go. Okay, we're just gonna go to this part. Sun's on the sky, blah, 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 blah. You should have brought an umbrella, man. Or parasol. I know people are gonna say that's for chicks, but buy a hat, maybe? I don't know, man. You're bald. You should already own a hat. Catch Damien at the bottom step. Does he have to worry about that? Do whales have to worry about the usual cavity stuff? They don't even eat sugar, so it's like... Why does everyone think his frills are gross? I think they're neat. Blah, blah, blah. Where's the bathroom stall? she launches him into the pool, right? Yep. Oh man, it's the cute moment. Time flies, the party's going on. And because this story does... Like, why am I here if you're just gonna retell Inko's story through Anon? Like, what are we even doing here? Even the faults of the demo, you just put back in there. Come on, man! I'm here to watch a character swap! Also, I legitimately feel like Inko in the sister story to this is like such an asshole compared to the original incarnation. Like, you can tell like whoever wrote that doesn't get that Inko is just a big Labrador retriever, just a soft pudding boy. Anyway, because Anon is now into photography, which really feels like they crowbarred it in. Like, remember, this is happening week 2, whereas originally it happened week 1. Like, there's so many accommodations just to make the fucking plot work, and it's not even interesting. I don't know, man. I don't care. This is not a good an additional scene made up by me. That's what you're writing, motherfucker. You should have the additional scenes because Anon is an Inko. Oh. Light character changes. Damien being a bit more bro with a quirk of rambling and having sobering moments. Why would you do that? Like, his... Dial it up for comedy. It's not even funny, though. The writing comes in spurts, like the cream on Anon's head. They do try to use a lot of verbatim dialogue. How? Anon isn't Inko! They're not the same person! Oh my god. Like, if you do that, all it's going to do is point out how different the dialogue is that you do change. It's gonna make you look like a dork. Oh man, I hate this. I feel sick. But that's mostly because I ate too much. It's nothing to do with the actual writing. How big is this fucking chapter? Jesus! $16,000 words. What is wrong with you? 10,000 words is already a hell of a fucking thing. 16,000! Dog days and gator ways. Man, there's a reason I stopped writing, right? There's a reason I just dead stopped and lost all interest. Oh, this is the chapter I was thinking about. And it's also, I think, near the point where I just stopped altogether. I just don't care anymore, man. This is depressing and boring. There are some fun stories. Like I mentioned, the infamous one is kind of neat. But man, it's like I show up to work and they don't. Ugh. Is Nothing to Something still updating? Let's look. Chapter, full page index. An update in November. Really? That's about like 6 months. What's his normal update schedule like? Pretty sporadic. No, month. The last chapter, February. This was last year. Then April to May, and then it was like 6 months before that one. But otherwise, pretty consistent. This was all October, mostly October to December for the first 16 chapters. I mean, at this rate, I might as well read that chapter just to consider it consistently done. I don't know, man. If you come back and you immediately, like, take another 6-month break, I don't know what to tell you. You might want to figure something out. You might want to figure something out. You're just gonna set yourself up for that bad feeling of, like, not getting your shit done. That sucks! But yeah, I haven't really done a lot of writing, and I'm kind of upset about that, because I do have some ideas and I do something. But man, do I just not care anymore. Man. I'm reading a lot of other stuff, and, like, man, ugh. Like, they're not doing enough. It's like, I enjoy it when they do shit. When it's the Cell thing, where it's absurd, or it tries something. But this is so much like, do you just want to read the same story again, but I changed Inko's name? It's like, I don't want to read Wani again, and it's just Anon wearing Inko's name tag. Like, what are you doing? I come to fanfiction for the fucking whack job, for the crack shot. I want heroin injected directly into my fucking veins. Yeah! So yeah, it's been like a couple of weeks since the last upload on Wani Kiss, huh? Oof. Oof. I kind of miss Punch Drunk Gator. Could I be honest? Because at least that did something. At least that was starting to do something, you know? But that's just the rose-colored glasses. Wistfully longing. That was September. That's the sad part, right? Is that eventually a fan community just peters down to nothing. It's just ashes and smoldering embers. And I have to carry it all on my... I'm carrying this all goddamn fan community on my back. Because I'm the only one who matters. It is kind of sad because I think Nothing to Something was like the worst way to start this, and I've just lost my appetite for this stuff. It's just gone. Not killed by anything in particular, you know. It's that old saying. It didn't die because someone made the worst thing in the world. Nothing to Something should have killed it if that was the case. And I read None in the Chamber, and I was like, man, this is actually going somewhere. It's turning around. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, normally this is the part where I'd be like, you know what, I'd hate write a version of this that works. But I don't have the energy for this anymore. Like, what am I getting out of it at this point? I'm not talking, by the way, about the kudos and the comments and the things. I'm talking about, like, emotionally, creatively. What am I getting out of this? I'm not going to finish it. I'm just going to be fucking angry at myself that I didn't finish it. That I've got nothing to actually put out there. That I've just been spending hours whittling away, refining my craft. But what's the purpose of refining my craft if I don't have something to finish, to show that the craft has been refined, you know? Just get a little inky. The man in the mirror. The man in the mirror. I don't know, man. There's just nothing in it for me anymore. I'm not... Am I hating it? No, but it feels like a job I'm not getting paid for, you know? It's like I'm here for the fiction, the fan fiction, the goofy shit, the fun stuff, the exciting ideas. I don't even want good writing necessarily, but I can't even get like an interesting concept. It doesn't try to do anything. It's just so creatively bankrupt. I know this is gonna sound a bit political, but I do feel that all art is inherently political, but like, someone told me that the right is unwilling to engage with art because it is terrified of everything that art actually involves. And to an extent, it is uninterested in the ideas of change itself, and art is inherently change, or something like that. And man, if this shit doesn't just reinforce that idea. Goddamn! Maybe I should just go do None in the Chamber, right? Just go to the one that actually has my attention. But then I have to draw a new border. I have to draw a new border for Infamous. And I don't wanna. I just don't wanna. I don't know what's in it for me. Am I gonna enjoy it? Am I just gonna hate it? Is me reading this shit aloud what kills it? I don't know. I'm terrified. I'm not writing anymore. I saw the first draft one. Like, what was it called again? I want a Gameu, or I want to shoot that gun or something. And it's like, it's apparently based on the original version of the script, like an early draft. And it's so fucking weird. And I love it for how stupid ink goes. It's something else. I can't. You know what? I'm gonna go look up Infamous. I'm gonna find out what the fuck this guy means with like the old series of Infamous. Infamous to an infamous second son. Department of Unified Protection. Man, it's always the 3-letter acronyms. ...2011, man. Like, I love how deep that cut is. That cut's so deep! You can feel the knife slide out the other side of your limbs. You know? But, no, the funny thing is, my only real engagement with, like, Infamous was a very short playthrough from a guy who really liked it. So I have the weirdest connection to this. Or does it mean the old series like he made an old one? I don't even know. At least the music's good, I guess. Like, what am I doing it for, really? I'm trying to do other stuff, find something else to do. Man! I don't know. Just feels kind of pointless. I don't know if I could ever enjoy it again. Maybe the magic's just gone. The honeymoon's over. Died with a whimper because I just...